it always hit me really hard when I first heard of his story many years ago. It's very interesting, guys. I believe they made a Hulu video. This was just 8 years ago. It feels like it was yesterday. Yeah. No, Michael. No, 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 for sure not. No. But yeah, but if you guys have never watched it, I mean, you're not going to see like any horrid things, but I would say like watch the video. It's on YouTube. Just look up Sky King. It's actually very, very interesting. I find it interesting. My wife had never seen it before, which kind of surprised me because I've talked about it many times, but she watched it last night and was like, just holy cow, this really happened. I'm like, yeah, babe, this is real. It's weird because they have a video of him pushing out the aircraft with a pullback machine, the tug or whatever you want to call it. And then he opens up the door, jumps in the plane, takes off. You can hear air traffic control talking to him, flies to Mount Rainier, does a circle around it, does a barrel. They launch the F-15s out to get next to him because he's a danger to society, right? He does a barrel roll and everybody's talking about it on the air traffic control. They're like, this guy just pulled off an entire barrel roll. I mean, it just would like blew people's mind. And they try to get him to land, but he wasn't having it. So very, very kind person. Something that no one ever thought would, that this guy would do this. Like it just was like weird, you know. But anyways, maybe you guys will watch it and then tell me. Let's see. Let's call this main trading. And let's go over here. Nope, just him. Absolutely just him. I'm telling you, man, he took a plane for a joyride, dude, and never been in a plane in his entire life, like to fly. He was playing software games and asked some questions here and there to people that he worked with. Dude, it all 100% nuts. 100% nuts. All right. So some of you guys are in the SPX room. Some of you guys already listen to Mel. Let's see, what kind of announcements do I have this morning? We have, just under an hour before we get started here. My first announcement, let's go through the alerts real quick. RKLB, the last time I checked, they really didn't do anything. And that's why I didn't sink a lot of money into the idea. I was kind of uncertain. They're almost back to 80. They're trading at almost 77. They closed at 80. I thought that the chart looked bullish longer, so I bought calls out of the money and this might end up working. We'll see how the market does. So 21 August. My next announcement would be Hood. We still have call debits, and they are in the money. They don't expire until next week. They are up. They were up almost 40% yesterday. I'm going to leave them alone. Remember, I believe we already made money on the put side. This is like left over from the earnings. All right. And so the idea is working. The next, we should be on the main. So make sure you guys are on the main. The next announcement is I've already made money in the ES futures this morning. You guys will see that right here. And also I'll be sharing just like I have been. You'll see this screen here. The only trade that I've taken is this one. MES, I actually closed last night. This is one of those things, if you guys are following along with me during the day and you actually hold these positions overnight, that's up to you, if you're going to sell them or do whatever. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I added some on the dip yesterday. We moved up last night. I sold them and just kind of chipping away there. This trade right here, this one was really simple as well. Guys, I don't know. Hopefully you're paying attention to the blueprints. It might be a lot to look at up here, but these things are working like magic. I mean, they really are. And it just takes a few moments, for you to take a look here. It's the same thing as the chart that I'm giving you. in the morning that we're going over. I'm just giving you the ideas of trade ideas based off of these levels. Okay. Now you'll see that we came up to the 77.97 yesterday, and look at this. I can't make this up. It's hashtag I can't make this shit up. That's what it is. And I created that many, many years ago because once I learned how to become a Picasso of my own charts, I realized that I can't make this up, guys. I mean, I sit here, I teach you, I show you, I take trades, and I can't make it up. I mean, this stuff is real, man. You can make a difference in your trading. You just got to execute these levels. And what I'm trying to do on these sheets right here is I'm trying to take a little bit. I know it's really busy, but I'm not going to change it. I actually think it's pretty easy to look at once you get used to it. But I want to go over it with you really quick. All right. Like yesterday was hurry up and wait. I got to come in, I assess the market, and I think to myself, what do I want to put in this section? And yesterday I really thought it was going to be choppy, and holy crap, was it choppy, man. Um, so the theme worked really, really well. And then we come down here, and the overall trend is bullish. I think you guys all know that. And I told you a couple weeks ago or last week, I said, hey, we got to start using the Gumby. This guy, he needs to be our mascot because I just want you to be flexible and remember that. Like, stop trying to, I guess, predict what's going to happen and actually just execute what's happening. Okay. Buy at demand zones, focus on higher probability setups and good R&R. My bias was bullish, right? Preference is buy the dips, sell the rallies. Basically, my preference is buy demand zones, sell supply zones. Okay. Today, inside the supply zone, you have 78.09. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me check something real fast. Sorry, I opened up the wrong one. Open image and new tab. There we go. All right. So same thing, all right, up here. Buy dips, sell rallies, and then right here, we went ahead and we have our information that's in here, the U.S. economic calendar. You can see what's happening today. Not much. That stuff is almost already happening. Existing home sales come in at 10 o'clock. And then moving on down to the side here, like I said, 7809 is the next target that's in the supply zone. Okay. Um, it's also important that keynotes we're on a 2-hour buy signal. Okay. But price has tested the supply zone twice now. Pretty much, we don't have to be to the tick. And I want to make sure you understand. That's why I put a star here. If price gets above 7,800 and closes above there, 7,800 becomes the support. And you can continue to trade in the supply zone until you hit the targets to the upside, 7803, 7809, 7815. This is a really important part about this morning. Very important part about this morning in case this happens, because a lot of people, they see a red zone and they're just like, I'm going to go short. And maybe you try to fight it all morning long. Maybe you're trying to short a rally. And I'd hate for you to look back and go, holy crap, man, we moved up 50 points today. And I try to short at each level instead of just like possibly get long here. Okay. And I'll go more into detail here in a few minutes, guys, so that you understand what that looks like. Okay. Um, Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say about these levels, okay? I mean, obviously, if we go back, we're going to look at these levels and let's just see how well they worked. All right, so we're going to X out of that. All right, so this is what the chart looks like. And this morning, there's really no reason to change this chart up. I mean, do you guys think there's a reason to change it up? I don't personally think there's a reason to change it up, okay? So we're going to keep the same damn chart. All right. It is the same one that we had on Sunday night. It's the same one for Monday, and it's going to be the same one for today until proven otherwise. So let's go over what that looks like, okay? So here are the levels. I said 771, 7771 to look for your long setup, okay? And this worked really well several times And then look at that. Boom, right there, profit. Boom, this is where I closed today, profit. Okay. So I'm waking up this morning and I talk about this a lot is if you're not a futures trader, why not? Okay. I'm going to ask you that every single morning. Why are you not a futures trader? If you got money in your account and you have the ability to chart and you're listening to us every day, you have the ability to trade futures. It's just you got to make sure that you use bracket orders and stuff like that. Okay. That means take entry, take your stop, hit your targets, or get stopped out. And the cool thing is we have that new indicator that gives me all the information needed if I wanted to take that trade. So I know where to place my stop. I understand what my risk is, and I take the trade. Now, sometimes I like to take trades that are going to sit here for a while instead of trying to micromanage like small trades. It's like, man, okay, my head's getting like yesterday. Okay, can I stop for a second? Yesterday was really frustrating. I didn't plan on being here. I really didn't. I didn't plan on like I don't want to be here after 90 minutes unless I have a meeting, unless I have a Q&A with you guys, or unless I say, "Hey guys, I'm going to like fly my airplane and talk to you for an hour or something," right? But somehow I got stuck at the charts and I felt like I was getting super frustrated because the price action was so tight. Like it was it was ridiculous. Um and I don't know about you guys. Maybe some of you guys are, better than me at this. I'm sure you are. But for me, those are not the conditions that John likes, meaning me. I don't like those conditions. They make me overtrade. They make me they make me do all the bad things we talk about. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit up here and talk to you guys like I'm perfect. I don't win every trade. But man, do I go down a black hole sometimes when I get, I guess, bored, right? That's the thing. If you're bored, if you're bored in the house, you walk to the kitchen and you eat bad food. If I'm bored in the market, I take bad trades sometimes. Now, I didn't really take bad trades. I actually had a really good futures day, but I posted out there on my social media that, for example, let me show you real quick. Let's get over here. I posted on social media, I said right here, I worked too hard for this green and I'm scaling into the reds. So what this means right here is that, and by the way, I trimmed one of my oil futures because I added in yesterday, right? When it popped up at 82 or whatever. I made 225 bucks. I don't look at this as a loss, just so everybody understands. Okay. So just so everybody understands, I don't take this as a loss. I hope that you guys understand that. Like it's hard. Like some of the new traders probably you look at stuff like this and you get discouraged and I get it. But man, once you start to become a little bit more advanced and you start to realize that these are scale in type trades, okay? And these are winners. These are things that are actually closed. So if this was red, then this would be a loser, right? Because I closed it, meaning like I totally closed it out. Okay. So, I mean, 255, 225 bucks, 325, 330, and then, and then 460. So here I am at $460. This stuff doesn't matter to me. I'm going to wait until my trade works out, you know. And this was a lot of work. Like, this is probably the most work I put into trading, I feel like, in a couple months, literally. Like, this is ridiculous. But I also want to be humble and go, I got to play my game. I got to talk to you guys, right? I got to do all these fun things. And I still made, from an intraday perspective, I still made what most people don't make in a day. What most people don't make in a day. All right. Now, I like to put disclaimers on this. I am not pulling my money out of this account. You guys have heard me say this before. So you're not going to hear me go, hey guys, I took this trade and it paid for my boat. Or hey guys, I took this trade and it paid for my vacation. I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say to you is, hey guys, live your life between the stop and the targets. And I mean that. You could do whatever you want with your money when you make it. All right. I literally have come to a place, I almost sound like a numb person, if you will. But I have come to a place in my life where the only thing that matters to me is what I leave behind. I really do. Right? Everything I do. I bought a boat because I want to take my family out, not because I've always wanted a boat. I did it because I want to take my family out. I add on to this house thinking that one day when I pass and Ashley leaves, we'll give our house to our grandkids and our kids. And they'll get to swim in the pool and they'll get to use the dock. And those things make me so happy. I actually don't care to take the money out of my account. And it's not a big account. And I do that with all of my accounts. So I'm just trying to build them. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. Okay. But one thing I will tell you guys, sitting in front of the charts all day for me is not my cup of tea. And I just want to make sure everybody understands in here. It's not because I don't love you. I used to actually spend 8 to 9 hours a day just talking on the mic. It's true. I just do it all day. And of course, we'd have some people be like, John, I love that, man. I'm like you. I sit in front of it. And it made me feel good. It made me feel validated. But now I feel like I'm getting a little older, right? Some of you guys are a little bit older as well. I feel like there's things to do. And I want to teach you how to make money in the beginning of the morning and then move on and do things. And there's plenty of you that I actually know privately, and you got things going on, right? We got people in here that they fly airplanes for a living, right? They need to go out and fly. We got doctors in here. We got music producers in here who, like, they trade in the morning with me and then they're producing music, big time, like for stars and stuff. And then there's people like me, just want to hang out with my family and do things. Okay. So I hope that all the things that I teach you, and I hope that you use my social media to come in here because I like to send out videos and stuff like that. I like to say things. And this really does sum up my purpose. I want to become so financially stable that God uses me to bless you. That's what matters to me. Literally. I know. Is the money good? Do I make money? Of course I do. I teach a system that I created. I'm an inventor, right? So I get paid for the work that I do. And I think that's awesome. And I want to say that I appreciate you guys. I feel like I always have to bring that into my morning routine to make sure that you guys understand how much I really do care for you and that I support you. And I hope that all of you do well. Okay. Now, in saying that, you cannot get better at trading. All right, Jekyll and Hyde. You cannot get better at trading if you don't execute. Okay, you guys got to start executing, right? Instead of maybe waiting so much. Execute the trade. All right, the system, as you guys are saying, all right, this morning, you talk about things like you got to digest it. It takes a while, right? And yesterday, I give you like my 30-minute spill on what we do here at Trendy. And I will say it again. I teach you, Melissa teaches you how to find zones. Okay. If you haven't purchased our class, if you're new, put the money. I'm not trying to be a salesman. I'm trying to tell you that the class that we did is going to answer your questions. So if you haven't purchase the class, watch it. It's 4 hours long. It's the last one we did. It's called The Evolution of Supply and Demand. Watch it, digest it, then come in here. Just like school, right? You can't take a test until you actually read, right? So listen, read, watch it, and then come in here and you'll understand. Okay. We have two zones on most of the time, two zones on the screen. Wait for price to get there and then take action. Okay. Wait for price to come in here. And just like I say in every webinar, when price comes into a demand zone, there's no great news. You don't have people telling you to buy. No one's saying, "Hey, I need you to go out and buy this stock." Like, it's never that easy. This is where fear typically comes in, and this is where your to me, the dopamine really kicks in, the euphoria, and you go, huh, supplies on my ass. I'm going long, baby. Right. And you got indicators out there that are actually like telling you to go long right up at the tops. I get it. And sometimes that works, but not most of the time. So there's a lot coming at you here and there's a lot coming at you here. And to me, this is where we become stronger traders. You have to have a plan. I don't care if this is a 4 hour zone, if it's a daily zone, a weekly zone, a 5 minute pivot, we trade them the same. We don't change the way we trade them. The one variable that changes is time. Time changes. Your expectation of the time in which you will profit or lose has to change. You cannot trade a weekly zone and have the same mindset as somebody who trades a 5 minute zone. This is the big variable. The zones are easy. We teach you how to find them. Execution is actually easy as well. Time is the hardest thing. Yesterday, time being a hurry up and wait in a very choppy conditions created a lot of bad habits. I could feel them in me. And it was a reminder that I do not like to sit in front of charts and trade all day. I really don't. Today, we are faced with two zones that have been working really well. And it's a if this, then that scenario. If price comes down to here, we try again. If price comes up to here, you try to short again. All right, listen, this is the plan for today. If price gets above this level, now I said 7,800, but it's about 97. Okay. If price gets above this and it's showing strength, higher highs and higher lows on a smaller time frame, we stay long as long as price holds above here. And then your targets are here. And each one of these targets, because they're in supply, okay, can be used as a place to take profits, or you can use this as a setup for a short. That setup looks like this. Identify, okay, wait, discipline, verify again what risk is, what stops are, what rewards are, and then execute. That's straightforward. Okay. So up here, for example, you don't see it because I only on this indicator have current signals, but we actually got signals to short here. Price gets close to our supply zone. I'm looking for prices to back off. If this set up right here and the risk was good, I will take the trade. Okay. That's how this indicator works. Again, Ram, I saw you asking about the shotgun method. Price, what you do is you wait for price to get to a level, any level. I don't care what level you're using. Then you verify over here if you get the shotgun method. Shotgun's just like boom, 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 boom. It's everywhere, right? It's not like at the bar shotgunning your favorite beer or something like that. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But it's you just wait for the symbol or signal to pop up and then you try to take the trade. Okay. Now in this case, you can see that the 2 hour setup. Okay. And that was down here. Um, right here. So we had these candle formations. The entry is the green line. The stop is down here, which is risk right here. And the target was here. Again, I can't make this up. This is the trade. Emphasis on I can't make this up, and disclaimer, if it would have stopped you out, I still can't make this up. It still worked well. You either lost 15 points or you made money to the upside into this area right here, which is 10 points. Okay. Which is about 500 bucks on the ES minis. Okay. Okay. A lot of craziness has happened this year. Trading has not been easy. I was sitting at, where was I sitting at? I was sitting over, we were having dinner and I had my family over here and my brother. And if he's listening, maybe he's not, you know, I like to pick on him because he's my brother and I'm allowed to do that. But he says, we're driving to get some pizza. I won't say any names. I'll just give it acronyms. He says the POTUS has caused him to lose so much money this year. And, I just listened. I was a good listener instead of a talker. And I thought to myself that the POTUS, no matter who they are, creates the catalyst in which creates the volatility that moves price to supply and demand. And I think that sometimes people, even in my personal life, are like, God, John, could you just say something different? Because I mean, I promise, guys, even if I'm not in front of the trading, like the stocks and stuff, I'm going to say the same thing. People are going to tell me some news. We're not even talking about trading. And I'll be like, guys, that's just a catalyst that's pushing price into supply and demand all around the world. You know what I mean? Like that's all that's happening. Okay. It's just one big circle. And they're moving things by using catalysts. Okay. If you go back since the inception of time and you look at the market, doesn't matter who is president, doesn't matter what events are happening, you will always find since the beginning of the market. Okay. If you go all the way back, if I were to take you if we came time frame and we did quarterly and we went back since max available, it's going to take you back since the inception of the market. And I will prove to you 2008, 2009 during financial crisis, it was a catalyst that pushed price into a demand zone and then prices went up. The crazy thing is we actually have the recipe to be great traders. It's right here. The edge that the bigger money has, and I guess this kind of feels like a conspiracy, right? Because when I talk like this, I'm saying that the others, right, the big money are trying to keep us from knowing these kind of things. They create fear. That is the only recipe that they have, and they have euphoria, right? And they are able to make the swings in the market by using news and people. And when they create these catalysts, they make things move very violently to the upside and the downside. Okay. Real things happen during these catalysts, guys. I'm not saying that they're fake. But as a trader, our jobs are to come in and use those catalysts to our advantage and find areas where we want to scale in or where we want to get long and so forth. Okay. So I love catalysts. Bring them on. They're what helps us get to where we need to go. Okay. As a reminder, this is our 2026 projection. We're almost to the target here. That's ES futures. The NASDAQ futures looks like this. We've already hit it. We've already hit it. We have already hit it. And the NASDAQ has slowed down. Matter of fact, NASDAQ has hit my 50% of my 2026 projection. And we've slowed down. That's okay. We shouldn't be shocked. The Dow Jones has hit my target. It has hit 25% to the tick of the target. And we still have 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 4 months left. 4 months left, guys. And the Rusty RTY has went through it. And if you guys recall, I really like this chart and love the underdog. This has the look of the cup and handle. Lower rates should help a ton. In my opinion, mega caps look overpriced, and we could see rotation to the Rusty. This is in December of 2025, guys. In my opinion, nothing matches the analysis of what we do here in the trendy room. I've not seen it. I haven't seen it in historical stuff. I haven't seen it in projections from big institutions. We simply use Fibonacci supply and demand zones. We identify them. We don't have to predict. We just have to know what to do when price gets there. And then when price gets there, we have to learn how to manage our emotions. Most of us are looking for in this room, most of us are looking for the magic indicator or the magic pill or whatever it takes to make trading easier, when really the thing that we should be concentrating on is managing our emotions when price is moving up to supply zones or down into demand zones. So, with all that said, I have now laid out the idea of today, and we have to be ready to trade. Let's go through the top to the, to lower time frames. Weekly, we created inside and up formation. We hit our next target at 7,786. Daily, this is important. Why is this important? It is important because you should be doing this every single day. 2 cycles, 2 to 3. I've been telling you this for years. 2 to 3, look for a bounce. 1, 2 down, boom, bounce. Resistance line. Has it been resistance over 2 days? Yes, it has. This is a buy signal inside and up formation. Okay. It is possible if we get over that 7,800 level that we could see something like this. That is possible. Again, if this, then that. Let's wait to see if we get there. Okay. If this happens, that means that in the future, this area in here will create a demand zone. This is called projection. I'm able to project by looking at things before they happen. These signals that are a part of the trendy indicators give you the idea that we are about to project to the upside. These are very powerful. Okay. Mel and I went back. We've done this live with you guys on the weekly buy signals on the ES futures. They have been 90% accurate since the inception of time in the stock market. Don't believe me? Go back and look. It's pretty impressive. This is why I don't change my indicators, guys. I don't need to. On the 4-hour, this is where we come into our blueprint. This is what our blueprint looks like. Again, this is what we're dealing with today. And I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to jinx us, guys. Let's just say, I'm not going to say the same thing I said yesterday. I'm looking for follow through today, guys. Let's make it happen, right? Follow through today. Follow through. Let's get some follow through. Okay. We are going to get, everybody say it right now. Say it to yourself. We are getting follow through today. Trade gods, please listen to me. I am asking you very kindly. Can we please get some follow through? Okay. Now let's talk about the PMZ really quick. Yesterday was amazing. I have some automated trades that are traded through the PMZ or whatever. It was going amazing. And at the end of the day, it got sloppy and sloppier and sloppy. Oh my goodness, man. Price was like literally doing this right here. This is crazy. I told you that a couple times out of the year, your strategy will be tested and it's enough to make you want to just give up. But I've had this PMZ since, gosh, man, it's been a decade. So it's like it's very difficult for me to give up on it, but these conditions, guys, are trying me big time. Okay. What's happening is even on yesterday, holy moly, we only had 3 points on the PMZ, and it literally towards the end of the day was signaling to go short in here, and then it would pop up immediately. Then it would signal to go long after 5 or 6 minutes here, and then it would break down immediately. There at some point you gotta just like, turn off the idea of trading the PMZ. And that definitely came right in this area. Knock on something, stock gods. Please give us some follow through. We have been, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, since I've gotten back from Alaska, we've been hanging around the PMZ for quite some time. So I'm thinking that Ash and I should go on another vacation. And I was joking around, but not joking around with Mel the other day. I was like, I was thinking about leaving again. Maybe that will do it. Like, I have no idea. Oh, nice, DJ. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, we could do some liquidity chop real quick. Let's do it real fast, okay? So liquidity chop, if I were to use some, okay? Yeah, so Joe, if we get above the supply zone, this is called sometimes I use my dental terminology. This would be, mesial, if you will. Mesial, so closest to price. But you just use this entry line. And if we get above there, this becomes your support. So I like to say this is your over under for today. All right. We are at the trendy edge. So I'm not trying to ignore that. That's why we have resistance, guys. This is a supply zone. Okay. We're hitting that and coming down. This is a supply zone. Okay. Yeah, Jasper. Well, typically, Jasper, the earlier in the day, that's why I say 30, 90 minutes, we make our money. But where what, let me show you what it should look like on a PMZ. Okay. PMZ should look like this, and sure, it might be a little like fuzzy in the morning, but usually what you want to see happen, just in case anyone's new in here, what you want to see is like this, and then maybe a comeback, and then boom. Okay. For the rest of the day. See you later. Even if it gets choppy, at 10:30, 11, just goes like this, at least you got the move here and you made all the money. Okay. Or same thing down here, it slowly trickles out of here, comes up here, but then you get a huge sell off day. Cool. That's what you want to see happen. All right. What we're dealing with, Jasper, and I know you know because you're looking at the charts, man, is like we're doing this and then we're coming back down and then we're coming right here and then we're going down and then we're coming right here and then we're doing this for the rest of the day. It's like, holy crap, man. This is wild. All right. The other thing, just because we're here, I want to show you. The other thing I don't like to see is this on the first 5 minutes and then bye bye, or this on the first 5 minutes and then you never see the PMZ again. This is kind of the extremes that are happening in the market, guys. You know, and I've been talking to people in the background, like the big moves that are happening so fast, they're not giving you the chance, especially if you're being conservative on your entries. We're not getting those because price isn't coming back. And then on the days that we are getting the opportunity, they're chopping the crap out of the PMZ. It's wild. Okay. So what does that mean though? Okay. What does that mean? That means really at the end of the day, the zones are in play and you guys are asking for liquidity chop level. So watch this on a 2 hour. Let's start with price. It's right here. Okay. I'm going to look up and to the left. I don't have any formations. All I have are trendy edges in this supply zone. Down to the left, I have a 9 EMA, I have a daily mid, and I have daily edge right there, or I have the zone. Okay. Those are the things I'm looking at. Now let's go into the 1 hour. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to step down on our zones to see if anything pops up where I could use some liquidity chop. Okay. All right. Well, I think the most obvious one, okay, would be you can either put a liquidity chop here at the trendy edge, okay? And I would come up just a tad. See how we have this inside and something trying to form here? Okay. And I may change this, but let's just do it together real quick. Okay. Liquidity chop. Let's edit. I kind of figured that would happen while I start talking. So we're going to use the daily edge. Okay. And we're going to come up here low to the high. I'm just going to use some fibs. Cool. And I'm going to use the 50. So you guys know we like the 50 and 618. So I'm going to go right here. You could use the 38.2 if you wanted to, but I'm going to use these two. That's going to be my liquidity chop. All right, now it's 83 by 93. You guys know I like 10 to 15 points. This is perfect. So always I'm looking for a place on liquidity chop where we're going to find some of the most extreme resistance. And I'm looking for an area where we could find some support. I use Fibonacci, I use lines, I use supply and demand zones and so forth. Today, we are using your daily edge, which is yesterday's supply zone. And then today we are using a Fibonacci of the 50 using this area here. The idea of liquidity chop is that price will come in, it'll take stops, it'll come back down, it'll come over here, it'll take these stops, it might come down a little bit more, come up, and basically just pissing everybody off while it takes people's money. And then finally, it might get above this level here, play out the bullish trend, and then start to move. And then you're going to use this area as your support. Okay. That is the idea here. All right. All right. We also have, while we're sitting here talking on the 1 hour, we have an ideal squeeze. See this thing right here? Ideal squeeze. Okay. Ideal squeeze. Inside and up. There's a possibility if the PMZ is pretty small, I could take a aggressive strategy. And I'll probably do that on the MC, or sorry, the MC, the MES. Okay. Already made my money over here. I don't need to, fart around and keep messing with the ES minis. So I made that money this morning. I sold this at 601 this morning. MES, don't have any trades in here, so I'll trade from here. All right. And then we have MNQ, and then I have the NASDAQ. All right. And we could change this around. Like if I want to trade, I think you guys have said the Dow has been kind of quiet, right? So maybe over here, I do / micro YM, or I could do the YMs. It doesn't matter. But I could put this on here. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if I can find. There we go. And then I'll use this over here. You guys won't be able to see these charts, but I'll be able to use this. I can get my trades off by looking there. All right. And we have about 10 minutes. Okay. So I got your liquidity chops up there, guys. You can see them. Let's bring everybody over to the future screens. Bring everybody there. All right. So you should be looking at that. I'm going to say this again with futures, man. It's really weird, guys. I think that futures trading, the edge that you have in here is that we're giving you the levels before the market gets there, right? The edge that you possess is the courage to take trades and understand your risk and so forth. Okay. trying to copy unless I am swing trading futures is nearly impossible. So you can look at my trades on here. You can verify that I'm taking the trades and all that fun stuff. But honestly, guys, the advantage is being in here with me in the morning. Unless I was copy trading. So like if I had a copier and I'm trading futures and it gets put in your account, that would be the only way, in my opinion, that you could necessarily like really follow along with a trader as they get in and out real quick. Now we can talk through it and this will help you. So for example, what I could say to you right now is, hey guys, all right, and I'm gonna show you this real quick. All right, hey guys, you should be on the Trinity John futures, so please go there. Okay. You see how we have 77.83 down there? I'm going to go long at 77.83 and I'm going to do a 3-point stop. Okay. So what I would do is I would set this up. I'm going to put a 3-point stop. Okay. Just like that. And I'm going to take a, I don't know, 3-point return. Let's do 5. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to come down to, let's open this up. All right. And I think I said liquidity chop is around 783, right? Is that what it was? Yeah, 27. So we're going to go to 25. I'm going to go to 50 right there. So all I do is I click right there. Okay. And now I have a bracket order. So this is the way to also like follow along at a level. Okay. Now remember, my next level was 78.09. So let me open this if I can. Okay, 78.09 and a half. Now MES is off just a tad. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do 78.09 and a quarter. Okay. And I'm going to sell right there. Okay. Now I'm going to restore the cells. All right. Now I have 2 trades in here that are set and forget trades at levels. Okay. And you can set these up every single morning. These would be considered set and forgets. And I'm just using levels. And you don't have to be in front of the charts. You're going to get stopped out or you're going to make money. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because levels work more than they don't. So I'm just trying to put a trade there. Now, if I'm in front of the stock market, what I can do is I can wait for those levels like 77.83. So listen to me. 77.83, I can wait for price to get down there and then I can come over to a 1 minute, a 3 minute, whatever your choice is. And when price gets there, I'm going to look for the new trendy precision tool to tell me whether or not I should get in or not. Okay. TLC, there's never an absolute on where I put the liquidity chop. That's why I didn't create a indicator. But you could, I mean, try it. Try it for a whole week. Only put them at the 50 and 618 of both sides. Okay. Yeah, and this is how the market gets you, scalper dude, and everybody is that like they create a lot of volatility in the market, and then all of a sudden they will push low volatility and it will crush everybody, man. Because what happens is it creates a lot of euphoria and everybody's like pumped up. Hell yeah, can't wait till Monday opens. And then they crush you and they basically take all that decay, especially out of options, and people get run over. So great for selling credit until it's not. So that's the thing is people are, it always feels like a lot of people are late, right? They'll be like after 2 or 3 days of sideways action, they'll be like, I'm gonna come in here and sell an iron condor, right? It's been 2 or 3 days and then it blows through their iron condors and they're like, holy crap, that didn't work. So it's easier to be an early adapter, meaning take your levels when price gets there. Don't wait for the 5th time to try to take the trade. That's not fair to the process. And we do have, you're going to have traders that do that. They're going to be like, this morning, even though this has worked twice up here, we're so close. It's worked so many times to go short here. They'll try to go short here with a bunch of money, and then they'll get, this will happen. They'll be like, oh, I try to trade the zone like you guys said, and we're like, why didn't you try to short it the first several times? So don't fight it. Put your stops in and have a plan. Hey, baby. No, I'm good this morning. I just need some water and maybe a new one of these guys. I appreciate you. Yeah. Wifey taking care of me. I appreciate her. Oh, look, oil's going down. Now I'm starting to make a little bit of money in oil. It's all coming together. Must be luck. Intel was a real big disappointment yesterday. I apologize. I never like to lose money, believe it or not. It sucks. I especially don't like to lose when something looks really good and then they drop $4 or $5 that next Monday. So that stung a little bit. Nvidia is at 221 this morning. Watch Nvidia. What I would like to do is I almost want to take our session to just trading stocks this morning and options instead of futures. But since I put so much damn time into talking about this, I think we should. And then maybe right after I'm finished with futures, like walking you guys through maybe 30, 60 minutes, I will. I'll talk about some stocks and stuff. Okay. I may add to Tesla again. Okay. May add to Tesla again. We'll see. We got about 1 minute and 35 seconds. If you guys are new here, I didn't go over the PMZ trading, but I will walk through it and talk. I usually every morning will talk about how we trade the PMZ, but for right now, I'll just walk you through it, okay? The PMZ, can somebody just verify with me? It looks like it's super tight this morning. Is that accurate? Looks like it's really small. Two? Holy crap, guys. This thing better work right away or we are going to get punished. So be careful. That's that's my thing to you. Please be careful today. All right. Matter of fact, I want to update over here. Quick note for today, the PMZ is extremely tight. Keeping my fingers crossed that we don't have too much of choppy conditions, but if I were to give my human analysis, I would say that conditions are a yellow to red flag today. So be careful. Usually my human intervention is wrong. Dang, babe. Thanks. Appreciate you. All right. So first move is underneath. Oh, I need to come over to a 5-minute on the NAS. All right. Now, again, aggressive traders wouldn't even care. They'd be trying to go short right here with a stop above the PMZ, guys. I'm up a whole $900. Now, in these conditions, usually that 900 will go to flat. It's wild. That's just kind of the market we're in. I'll be doing really well, and then I'll just end up being flat by the end of the day. So these are aggressive. Okay, you would be short here because it went underneath the PMZ with a stop above. All right, I'm going to talk you through it. I'm not doing anything. Remember, I have a set order right here. I either get stopped for 3 points or I don't. Now, what I love about set and forget trades is I don't see any of this. Like I'm sitting on a boat, I'm drinking a coffee with my wife. I have no idea what the heck is going on, and I just know if I get stopped or not. That's all that matters to me. Yes, Nasdaq came down into the DE and the line in the sand, which is a great level to go long. Nice job, Shep. Now, typically, I would not do a 3-point stop. I would do 5 points, but I just was using this as an example. And 3 points was stopped. Looks like 5 points might have got stopped too. We'll see. It almost worked there for a minute. Almost. Let's see, on SPX. I sold some credit yesterday. See if that ends up working out. Man, I've been hitting a lot of winning trades in the SPX room. Just like selling credit and stuff. I also bought a lotto. For Friday, 200 points out of the money, just in case. You never know, right? You never know. And okay, so because we flushed that line, what we could be doing is now looking for the shotgun. Okay. Let's see, 1280. What did I get? Oh, okay. So we could actually take profits here. Um, earnings. So if you guys went short on the aggressive, did anybody go short on the aggressive? That should have been my move instead of showing you guys a set and forget, but whatever. If you did, good for you. I mean, MNQ. Okay. Shep, you hit that MNQ long. Were you in and out very quickly, man? Hopefully you're not holding on for dear life. And this thing is not giving me a lot of value though. Well, we could get 1270. What did I sell these for yesterday? Let me see. Let me see. Keep on going down. I don't care. I'd much rather this thing keep going down, man. Shit, give me 100 points down day. I'll be super happy. All right, we're at the line in the sand. Sorry about the NASDAQ. Let me get that over here. Not sure why it's doing that. We're almost to the next area that keeps working for us, the zone, if you will. Let's get over to. All right, so we hit the line in the sand. We got a nice little bounce there. That's another area you could put set and forget trades into. Basically, any line that's on my chart, if you're trying to buy the dip, you could take, just a couple points real quick. The liquidity chop got swept through. The line in the sand is working here for a couple points. And swear, man. Nobody likes to talk about the losers, do they? It's all about the winners. Nice bounce there. See at the 1 minute. Remember, I have it on a 1 minute, so you have a 4 minute stop there if you want to try to take the 1 minute signal. All right, so a few points there from that 1 minute. You'll notice that the 1 minutes, they switch over very quickly to new signals. So you got to remember where you wanted to get in and where you wanted to get out if you took a 1 minute signal. I talked about that yesterday. It's not been easy to try to make price to the upside, that's for sure. You can see here it kind of like just fumbles around, but we're almost to the target off of that entry there. I'm not going to micromanage any of these. I'm just going to leave the target and the stops for today. So, and you can see I'm about a half a point away from getting my order filled. Okay. Now, what you could do is move your target up and then pull your stop up so you can keep chasing it or keep running with it. All right, so that was filled. So we made our money back. So that was our first trade this morning that worked. So we had a set and forget, or I had a set and forget, I should say, that lost. And then I had a signal that worked. Okay. Anyone take that 1 minute signal? I like the 1 minute signals if they fall within. Um, yeah, I love them because I mean, look at the risk on that. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was 6 points, but yeah, ping got the list trade. Gotcha. Yep, yep. Same thing. So you could take the list as a set and forget ping, or you could take the 1 minute entry. All right. So I'm being selfish, guys. You probably don't want to hear my thoughts. I wish the market would just actually go down, but I'm probably not going to get that. It seems really strong. So let's see. Nvidia is at 220 this morning. Okay. It's not really helping though. Let's see. 315 bucks. Hmm, okay. Not that impressive. I don't understand. How much did I get for credit on this thing? 1330. Okay. All right, guys, we're coming down to the same zone that's been working for us for a while now. So we'll see if it works again. Again, you could wait for a setup here. I'd prefer it. I'm being a little D for a T. I'd prefer it to come into the zone, but let's change. Let's get this to what is this on a 5 minute? So it's about 4 points. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go to a 3 minute on the ES. I was trying to get filled on my SPX, but it's not. Hmm, It's kind of hard to get filled for some reason. Trying to buy back credit from yesterday is all. And I'm going to pull up my watch list just in case there's something else for us to do. This is so choppy. I might actually raise this one 10 points. You guys can see this entry I have on the futures here. Just going to raise it up maybe quite a bit, just in case it works out and we go all the way back up to 7,800. News at 10. Thank you, Julie. You feel like it's SPY earnings for CPI. I don't know. I think what I did is that I bought Friday, I bought some puts, like 200 points out of the money for 340 bucks in the SPX. Zero. It's either we drop 100 points or and I maybe make a little bit of money or it goes to zero. So just like a small hedge. Personally, I think the market's easier to short right now than it is to go long, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. A lot of times I could tell by just looking at my PL. You know, I told you guys I opened up about 1,000 up and I'm only up 400 bucks now. And most of my positions are net long. So once my PL starts going back up, then means the market is moving up since it's kind of in line with it. What is Tesla doing? It's up a whole dollar. Holy shit. All right, the NASDAQ looks like it's ready to go here. Stops would be at the low of the day. We'll see. I don't know why. Let's see, 29,627. How much is that if I lose? It's that's a lot of risk down there. What is that number? 29,630. It's more than I wanted to risk on a micro, but okay. All right, and I think we've hit about 5 points or so here on that last entry, guys. So we're just getting the signal, but I took the 1 minute earlier. Really like the NASDAQ to pop all the way back up to the list. That would make me happy. Now, what you could do is bring up your stops. Looks like we got in at 775 and we're at 779. So you're up about 5 points. Up to you. You do you. Yeah, Julie. Yeah, maybe. Could happen. But a lot of times, I know, a lot of times though, I hit a lot of those. So then when I make, 300, 400, 500%, doesn't really matter that I lost the last two or something like that. I hang on to probabilities, Julie. That's what keeps me going. Not worried about the money. Unless I were to get to zero, of course. There are times where I think about that. That's for damn sure. All right, so if you are in the NASDAQ, you're at 500 bucks on the minis, 50 on the micros here. So we're going to go ahead. We're almost to our target right there. Let's go ahead and flatten. All right, so we hit our target right there. And then over here on the MES, you're also at target if you want to do something there. I'm going to hold and see if we can get all the way back up to the PMZ. Let me go to the 5 minute real quick. Can somebody tell me what the bottom of the PMZ is? My indicators are, I'm on a weird time frame. We're also 15 minutes in. I didn't look at the orb, but you can see the orb strategy. I forgot to talk about that, guys. So the red line down here is the 15-minute lower opening range breakout, and the green is the upper. Okay. We're going to try to sell if we can get up here. I'm going to keep raising this. Can somebody tell me what 7791? Thank you. Anybody taking these trades with me, or are you guys just watching? It's all good. I mean, I don't care. I'm just asking. So 7791. Okay, cool. All right, so about where I'm at right here. Cool, cool. Nice, Jason. Don't you guys prefer seeing the active trader? It's so much easier to see when we're entering and when we're exiting. It might be hard from your end to see because you have to look at two different screens. Julie, any of you guys sitting at home, and I say your name, Julie, because you're sort of new here. If you have a hard time with this, understand that you can what's it called? You can detach the screen. So if you guys have multiple screens at home, you can detach it and you can put my different screens on your screen, if that makes sense. And we are coming up to target here. The minis pay a lot better, guys. Like this NASDAQ trade would have been 660 bucks. And over here on the ES, this would have been $600 right here. Kevin says 82 ES is a buy for him on a pullback. Cool. Julie. She's like, dang, man. And John loves to trade the futures first thing in the morning. Honestly, Julie, I think the futures are easier with micros. And then once you get more confident, minis are fun. You ruined my day. You used to trade futures with what process? Would you mind telling me? What were you using, if you don't mind telling me? I'd love to know. Options are much more forgiving, Bart, or futures are? Which one? Yeah. Yeah, Julie. So true. That's funny. No CEO's wife running away. Yeah, you don't have all the dumb catalysts. But I mean, you do though, right? You have macro catalysts. So, depending on how you want to look at it. Julie, what process were you using though? Like what were you using to trade futures? Just momentum. Okay. Let me see what the top of it's hard. It's like Simplers asked me to give them some examples of the trades, you know, taken by the new indicator. And I'm like, there's so many. It's like, um, there's so many like good trades. It's like I don't know what to tell you. I can't copy and paste every time I take a trade because sometimes I take so many. I just forget. I get in the moment and I'm like, what? Oh, come on. All right, let's get that push all the way back up at, I mean, honestly, 92 is even better. Let me see if I can open this up. I guess that's pretty close though. I don't know, I'm just gonna go back up here. It's one thing if you guys I'm just gonna leave this here. Never mind. I'm talking to myself.
Guys, I have some sad news. I found out last night that my entire Vegas trip that I booked for my daughter's 21st birthday, the tickets, John Summit's not even playing there. So somebody somehow through Vivid posted like that he was playing during race week. I can't even tell you how hard it was for me to fall asleep last night. I was so pissed off. So now I need to, after I get off the mic today, I need to figure out how I'm going to recoup all this money. It's like, I can't believe this. It's pretty wild. So, cost me a lot of money. Very frustrating. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot more than that, man. I bought a suite at the Bellagio. I got plane tickets for 5 people, and I got very expensive tickets that don't even exist for 5 people. So that is most likely coming from a third party. We need to call LIV and see if somebody can tell us there. There's just no way he can make it in time. Get his IP address. I try to post to him on Twitter, whether he answers or not. I doubt it. Very. I did email his management team to see if I can get an answer. You guys staying patient? Mark Jackson, you trading some futures, my friend, or are you making music? I know you're here. I don't know if you got me in your ear or not though. Let's see, master in the trade. Here we go. Hey baby girl, won't you tell me your name? Na, 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 na. Damn, JCB trading some size. Have y'all noticed that in the MTT room? I was telling my wife about it yesterday. Mark, you making some money, buddy? Did you buy down there by the gray zone, my friend? Freaking price is stuck, dude. So in these conditions, guys, you have to take what the market's going to give you. So when we're trending and the market's doing amazing to the downside or upside, you can be a little bit more patient, but sometimes that patience, you try to transfer that patience into days like this, And what happens is that it's not as giving as it used to be. So, like, typically, you could make X amount of money very quickly. And in a choppy market, a lot of times it's only going to give you, I've always said this, quarter to 50% of what you're used to getting. And then you take your money and just chalk it up as, hey, it's a week where you're not working overtime. You know, you're only getting X amount of money per hour versus what we were getting in a trending market. That's the hard part. Okay. Am I holding MBIS? Yes, I am. And I don't know if that's the right move, but it's 500 bucks. So um, don't do that if you have a small account. I mean, my account's small too, guys. My account is not big at all. So sometimes I just like to put on a little risk though. If that 500 can go to 2,500, it's going to really help me out. If the 500 goes to zero, it's not going to kill me. You see what I'm saying? Now I am thinking about putting on a put debit spread though. That's tomorrow morning, correct, Lester? Yeah. So we got to take the trade before today. Mark, I think you need to make us a new PMZ song. We'll have two different versions. We'll always keep the original that my buddy Bill did out of Nashville. And then I need an EDM version. Where do we go when the PMZ? No, that doesn't sound good. I'll think of one. All right, Tesla's back up to 55%. We're up $4. We're being super patient. I told you guys not to be as patient. I'm being super patient on this trade to see if we can get up towards 91, 92. What I would like to do is if we get up towards the top of the PMZ, I'm going to go to a 5-minute chart real quick. If we can get up to the 5-minute top of the PMZ, we're going to raise our stops and then put a trail stop in. Does that make sense? And that way, if we get a breakout above the PMZ high, then we'll just follow price action, right? Because we're in at 775. We're almost up 10 points here. I should have just kept the NASDAQ. That would have been a nice win. Shep, did you make some money on NASDAQ today, man? That was a nice buy down there. The 5-minute signal, dude, was awesome. Look at this thing. Look at that 5-minute signal, man. It went away because we already went through all the rewards, I think, but it was solid. Solid. Nice, Jeff. Good job. Don't want to jinx you guys, but I feel like today is the kind of day where you come in, it feels like yesterday, and they're going to come out with some kind of catalyst and market's going to go straight down. Sorry. I'm not trying to scare you guys. It's just my speculation, man. Something doesn't feel right. All right, I'm gonna walk down to the dock for like 5 minutes, and I'm not walking there because I think the market's going up. I need to walk around. I need to get grounded for a few minutes, so I'll be back. All right, guys. Sorry, had to take a little detour there. And yeah, I did a video real quick. I was looking outside, it was amazing. And then I looked over to the southwest here, and it looks like some storms are coming in, but it's so hard to tell around here. It's weird. It's very tropical. And so you'll think you're about to get a huge storm, and it's just it'll get all dark and ugly and it won't do anything. Okay. Hate to do this to you guys, but I'm gonna stop the recording. Well, let's see. Let's just real fast. Let's see if we can take another trade. You know what? Let's just do. I'm gonna do the. Let's take it off the futures just for a second. Let's take it off the futures. Let's go to trendy main. Bring everybody here, and we're gonna minimize this little guy right here, and we create it inside and down at the trendy edge. This is a BS right here. Just drop it, baby. Just sorry. Um, I know I'm long. You're probably thinking like, what? Don't get mad. It's not my fault. If I say drop it and it actually drops, it's not actually my fault, guys. Okay? Promise you. I don't make the market move. Yeah, I was thinking we'd take a quick ride. It's so pretty out. It's like high tide. It's as flat as I've ever seen it. Yeah, we could go on a jet ski. It could be fun. We haven't taken the jet ski out but once this year. Let me see if there's any trades I want to take. So I feel like we haven't done this in a while. Let's put this over here. Let's pull this guy over here. Okay. And let's look at the market. And it looks like it's stalling at the trendy edge. So my first thought is, maybe this thing finally breaks down and comes down to a lower zone. But this is how you get messed up in here. Just get chopped up. So, but regardless, let's see. Gold. I'm just going to click on some random stuff and show you guys how fast I could trade if needed. And we'll go trendy trading. Cool. Make sure I'm in the right account. Looks good. We're just going to go down the list here. Why does it say loading? That's weird. Never seen that before. Interesting. And it usually, okay, whatever. All right, Apple's down. Let's go to PMZ signal. See where? All right, we got some greens in here. RBLX. We got Walmart. We got STX. What the hell is STX? TSM. Let's go TSM. I click on that, wait for it to come up. All right, and let's, it says shotgun short. The risk is 207. This is on a 1 hour. Let me just look at a few things here. Yeah, so the risk is right here. Let's go to a PMZ. Okay, kind of missed that one. See how it popped up and went to the PMZ and it's breaking down? I don't want to take this now, but this would have been a perfect opportunity using the PMZ or just looking at the confirmation at the PMZ. Works really well. I'm just going to move down. Let's go into Meta. Finally up $13. This thing's actually taken my money this year. I think I've lost like 2 grand in it. Not been easy at all. But is there a trade here? It came in, check this out. It came into my demand zone over and over and over. It does feel like it's ready. That's my crazy laugh where you just feel insane. But it feels like it wants to break out to 630 like soon, very soon. So it's Tuesday. Let's see how much the 630s are. 250 by 260. Okay. 250 by 260. What about next week? 21st. These are 675. $3. I mean, it's up $13, so I am going to go in really slow here and then add. Room to add. Now, listen, if you guys follow along on trades and you like the idea, okay, here's the thing is if I could do everything over, like go back to, because I'm the worst follower of trades, guys. I will pick every losing trade if I follow somebody's trades. It's the weirdest thing. Um, and then I lose faith and then I miss out on the big trades they take, you know. That's always, I feel like that's it. Most people, you cannot copy somebody unless you copy them completely all the way. You know what I mean? And most people can't do that. Um, if I could go back, what I would probably do for myself is put a stop on every follow trade just to like be a good steward of my money. Does that make sense? So it's like you look at that, it costs 300 and the important part here is this is $320, right? Let's just say you're like 50% is my number, right? 320, what's half of 320, right? It's like 160. Is that right? 160. So you're going to lose $160, right? The issue with just putting a flat stop on something, saying, hey, I'm okay with losing 50%, is that like doing the math. And when we get there, I would just say be careful when you do that type of stuff because, for example, let's say that we come down all the way to here by the end of today. Well, this is an edge, and this is where I'd be looking to buy off of. So this is probably where I would add, especially if I still had a lot of time left. And time is the variable here. So 50% is not actually a lot of money. Sorry, it's not a lot of to be concerned about when you have 10 days of expiration if you're not that far away. And I'm just giving you hypotheticals. So if this were to happen today and pull all the way down to here, well, I still have 10 days for me to push up towards my target. And where we sometimes go wrong as traders is we're looking at our PL and we look at a percentage and we judge it based off of percentage, but not based off of your actual technicals. The technicals say that, hey, as long as we stay above these levels, we're looking for a move up here. I believe that's where my edge is, to be honest with you. I don't focus in on the percentages. It's more about timing, it's more about the technicals. And I believe, just like the news, that things were put in place mm, to throw you off. You know, it it's hard to explain sometimes, but that's how I feel. All right. All the technicals, they last longer than looking at your PL. The PL can really throw you off. Okay. So try to stay away from looking at your PL all the time. If you already know how much money you're going to win and how much money you're going to lose before you take that trade, it's a lot easier to stay in the trade. It really is. I had a lot, Ben. I had a lot coming into this year that, I mean, quite a few have worked out. Um, Nvidia is one of those who still needs to show up. But no, yeah, we still have. What I like to do, Ben, is I like to start looking towards the end of the year and getting us set up in like November, December, but for like 2028. You know, that's my first thought. But no, I think there's probably a lot. What we would need to do, Ben, in my opinion, is probably do a session. I'd probably want to do it outside of market hours, and we look at quarterly charts, only quarterly charts. And we just start going down a long list of things. And a lot of times, you know, that would look like, and you could pick some of your favorite names. Like, all right, so for example, let's just go to NVIDIA because it's right here. I'm going to go to NVIDIA. Wait, let me go back to Meta. Sorry. I need to put this chart up there. I need to put this chart up there. Give me 1 second. Meta. Quite honestly, I wouldn't mind buying $700 calls here if this thing keeps on pushing. Let's see. Oh yeah, inside and up on the weekly, and look at that monthly candle or the quarterly candle. That looks pretty solid. All right, cool. Um, Let me take this screenshot. Let me just put this in here, guys. There we go. Alrighty. Let's get everyone to start selling iron condors and then blow through 7,800. That's what I would do. I always think like that if I if I'm in charge of the market. Wouldn't you guys do the same shit right now? Wouldn't you? If you were in charge of the market, wouldn't you like just blow the top off right now or the bottom? I'm telling you, everyone's getting comfortable. They're like, yeah, it's a boring market, man. Let's sell some iron condors. Then they're gonna come in and be like, bam, right? And then you're gonna be like, ah, damn it. That would be me if I was in charge of the market and wanted to take everybody's money. I think that's what I would do. So SNDK sitting at 1256. I need to look at that here in a second. But let's look at Nvidia real quick, Benjamin, for just a quick example. And you know how well, hopefully you know how I go through these. But let's just do an example real quick, okay? So the quarterly, if I were to come in here and let's say this is towards the end of the year, we already have January 27. We could leg into even more trades on Nvidia. I'd really like to get this back up to size. They're going to report soon. Um, this is this is a double inside and up, Ben, and everyone. So this is a double inside and up that's happening right here. And so my projection is that this, whether it's this candle or the next candle, is going to look like a pretty big inside and up formation, which leads us to higher prices over time. And this becomes a demand zone. And then once, they tell you whatever they need to tell you and prices start coming down, this will be the place that rocks a lot of people, but this is where we'll set up and go longer again. That's called projection. We're projecting that the double inside and up is going to continue to move up here. You could also call that speculation. And you could also use Fibonacci's to fall into probability or statistics to find out, like, hey, does this make sense from this perspective? Like, for example, if we can get 88.7% of the way to this high, which happens to be right here around 228, we have a 95% probability we'll make a new all-time high. So really, the probability set up a lot better here for these targets up here. All right. So I like this. And if you think about time and you think about lead positions and you speculate that this is going to happen, then you can see where price would come back down. And this would give you an idea. So, like, let's just try to imagine this. You're in 2027, halfway through, and we've been doing really good. We're making money, right? But then it comes all the way down to 190, and everyone's spooked. But we still, let's say this happens in March, okay, February, March timeframe for some reason. But we still have 2028 March expirations. This is a great place to add. You know, prices can still continue to move up. Okay. Let's go to a yearly, make this even more exciting. Okay, NASDAQ is finally starting to also try to get above its 5-minute cloud. Keep your eyes peeled here. I think we're going to try to make a break for the PMZ. It might be a slow, ugly move, but that's what's happening, probably. Okay, this is a yearly. And we've been up 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Holy crap. Right? That's not really that big of a deal. But I mean, I really like this trade up into the 300 range. So I could come over and start adding into Nvidia for a much further out expiration, you know. And I'm not going to do this. You're not going to make me do this. Right? We're still long on the ES here, guys. So remember, what I like to do is get through the top of the PMZ and then we put a trailing stop on, okay? Um Hey baby girl, what's your I sold this for 13.30. Let's see if I can. I don't really like. I'm gonna. Give me 1 second, guys. Could see. All right, so let's bring this. Sorry for the delay. I had an alert there in the SPX room. Let's bring this out real quick. I said that the Nasdaq's looking strong. I went ahead and sold my Iron Fly for break even. I just wasn't feeling it. but good management as of now. If it breaks down and makes a lot of money, then I'll look like a dummy. But shit happens. So, anyways, let's go over here to NVIDIA. Hey, I got a new simpler hat. Let's see if you guys can check out my new simpler hat here. Hmm? These hats are they're definitely not the same as like a trendy hat. These are like flat. I like this. I like these kind of hats for like pickleball or something, Looking pretty good, right? But I like the ball cap, like the trucker sort of hat, like this, because you can see the symbol. This is like I got a big head, so this just like sits on my head right there. It's kind of strange, but whatever. Um, let's go into these ideas here. Okay, we're already sitting in this. I feel like adding to this, to be honest with you. Um, this is the hedge that we have. And these are really cheap. I feel like buying this back right here. But I feel like 185 is done with. Could be wrong. Then we keep going on. This guy's underwater because now we're up $2 this morning. It's not as bad as it was. These were going for 10 and I sold them for $1 or something. Yeah. So this was against me like $900 a contract. Now it's against me like 500. All right, getting down here. We only have 157 days left. Like, can we get to this target? Yeah, we're already there. Um, I think that, yeah, Taylor alerted an NVIDIA trade in the MTT room a lot like this one. It's a little bit, it's a 200 call right here. And he is looking for 50 to get out at 50. I like this one, but it's shorter dated than mine. I would actually rather, if I'm going to put more money into NVIDIA, I'm going to buy more out here. So let's see, we're in October. Damn. I'd probably be looking at 17 December, guys. Or no, actually, my bad. Yeah, right here, 17 September. And I'd be coming out probably doing some stuff like this, like the 300s. I think I'm going to do that. Actually, I'm going to buy one. And when I buy one, I don't get too particular about the entry here. 1755. Yeah. Send right there. Okay, cool. You can see they dropped the bid immediately. So you guys could probably get a better price if you like this. Anil, on a pin today, holy moly, man. The same trade that I put out yesterday. Didn't that work perfect if you guys sold the iron condor on that? Like that was, if you look at the things that I post in the morning, there's a trade idea in there. But I feel like this market, it's so choppy. I say we wait, like if we're just gonna do a 5 wide or something like that, let's wait for like 10 minutes. There's no reason to try to get right now. But you know, but yeah. So now I'm 402 days out on this, which I like that. Now I have a little bit more. This isn't crazy. Let's do the math real quick. So we have 5,000. I have 5,000 here. And then I have 6,700 here. And then I have just this position here, but I'll just leave that right there. Okay. Meta 1498. Cool. Just leave that there. All right. Now, Ben, also, like, what about names that have been kind of quiet, right? Like Reddit. You do sometimes want to put a little bit of fundamentals into an idea of a leap trade. So if some of you guys are really good in your fundies, Um, I would definitely think about that. Like, what company is anybody in here? And don't just give me a name. What company is awesome on their fundamentals? If you guys are into fundamentals, I'm talking to you. That really hasn't really proved itself based on fundamentals. Anybody have a name? No, no, no. Anil, my ideas are up here in the on the ES futures, the trade idea. So just take those numbers and do the math, and then you'll come up. SpaceX. Okay, cool. So I don't know. Are their fundamentals good? AMD. AMD's been like really moving. Yeah, I don't think that SpaceX has good fundamentals, just like all his other stuff. But I did get in at 109, added at 109 in my grandkids account. All right, cool. I'm looking at your names here. SNDK, Netflix. I do like Netflix, but they do Mark, but like what kind of prices? All right, let's use Mark's idea because it's so expensive. You know what I mean? And like in my brain, I'm like, okay, what does this look like? All right, cool. So I like this. This is a rounding bottom mark. We came into an inside and up formation. I think we filled a gap as well. So from a weekly perspective, but I don't want to take leaps based on weekly charts. You can start an entry after you looked at the higher time frames, right? And this one's going to be hard. Okay, you see what I'm working with here, Mark? See what I'm working with here? I mean, look at this chart, man. This is crazy, right? Oh, come on. This thing is taking so long. Yeah, we definitely got to get out of here soon. MU is an inside quarter, man. From a weekly perspective, I like where it's at. If I were to take last quarter, it's bearish here. It needs to get above 907. So for me, this is a sit and wait. It was a buy at the 50 at 799, and it moved up nicely from there. and they wait for me to sell. See, that's kind of how the market works. Oh well. I don't know. So like MU is hard, man. The only way that I would take a leap in MU is if it was just a straight up lotto trade. I would personally would prefer to buy leaps down at 550 to 450. That's what I would prefer to do. That's hard. That's a hard one. I would not mind buying swing trades in MU right here, you know, in this area. Yeah. Anyways, we're looking at the charts for too long. We really are. Oh, come on. They broke it down as soon as I sold my Iron Fly, man. What a bunch of bastages. Seriously? Come on, man. Come on, Cletus. That is sad, man. Yeah, do me dirty. They know the timing, man. They got the timing nailed. They couldn't even make it up to the PMZ. Gosh darn it. All right, what to do now? We're just gonna sit and wait.